Hello and welcome to the webinar on transforming retail industry with RPA and AI. This webinar is part of a webinar series organized by Royal Cyber for the intelligent automation practices and solutions. I'm Asif Hussain. I have over 15 years of experience in the field of software development and automations. This is who we are as Royal Cyber. We are a technology solution integrator working in many verticals. This is how today's agenda looks like. We'll talk about intelligent automation and its journey in enterprises, challenges most common in retail and consumer goods, consumer packaged goods industry. We'll also talk about like how automation is most suited in these sectors and a use case of how invoice processing and other similar processes can be automated end-to-end using advanced technologies available in the market. In the end, we'll take your questions also. So let's take a very brief look at what is intelligent automation. Intelligent automation, or IA, is a combination of robotic process automation, RPA, and artificial intelligence. Technologies which together empower rapid end-to-end business process automations and accelerate digital transformation. So RPA is automation of steps performed by hand of a human user, and augmenting it with AI brings head work. That means learning and decision-making capabilities. When AI is integrated with RPA, it allows the automation process to begin much faster, creating an automation continuum. A completely autonomous process would elicit a more cognitive response, transmitting it directly to the RPA system that would then complete the task. In contrast to traditional automation, which relies on prescriptive instructions and structured data inputs, intelligent automation assists with each step of automation cycle and then continues to improve over time. The AI cycle begins with process discovery, where AI-empowered tools automatically observe the work activities people are doing and identify optimal workflows and propose an automation path. At the automation stage, intelligent automation applies AI to access unstructured information, including human chat, conversations, audio, and video, which is crucial for making end-to-end automation possible. In today's enterprises, as we know, unstructured information represents 80% of the business data. Machine learning is also used with RPA to identify patterns in the process data and predict future productivity gains and take day-to-day decisions as well. And natural language processing with chatbots are also used with RPA to make bots more interactive with customers. As a result, we get self-adjusting end-to-end automations of any business process. So enterprises today are moving towards hyper-automation. As defined by Gartner, hyper-automation deals with the application of advanced technologies, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, to increasingly automate processes and augment humans. In simple terms, hyper-automation refers to the mixture of automation technologies that exist to augment and expand human capabilities. Automation will reach its full potential at the end of a consistent process. We like to think of it as a journey, in like one in which a virtual workforce is deployed by the organization to help achieve its long-range corporate goals. Usually it begins with simple process-driven, highly repetitive manual processes that do not need decision making at any stage and move forward towards data-driven processes that need one or more decisions during the process. The cost and complexity also increases when the automation move from doing to thinking and to learning. Now let's see where you are with your organization's automation journey by this simple poll. Now let's see some prominent challenges retail and CPG sectors are facing today. The ever increasing competition is reducing margins in many sectors, and the scale of business today is very hard to manage without extensive automation. These are few common challenges that we see in the retail and CPG sector today. First is customer satisfaction. It is a simple truth that has stood the test of time. We all know satisfied customers lead to repetitive visits and increased sales. Retail and CPG industry uh, rely on accuracy and efficiency in terms of that help them to succeed. The analysis is very important, and fulfilling the demands of the market. Any delay in the sales and opportunity analysis can be a big setback. Many people are working in retail and CPG sector as it is a profoundly human dependent industry. It becomes challenging to manage the workforce. It increases HR activities and consumes more time. And then comes managing market demand. So that's the main thing that requires automation and most advanced practices. So tasks of order and invoice processing are manual. That's one major sector of it. So it takes too much time to fulfill market demands because of the manual labor intensive tasks. It can lead to a delay in supply to the market, and hence it results in loss of sales. Now let's see how RPA can help. So trade promotions are handled manually through registers and spreadsheets, which can be highly error prone, and it consumes too much time. The absence of accuracy can be expensive, but RPA can automate this whole process of collection of data and generate reports and simplify trade promotions. RPA can help you collect data and provide real-time insights and analysis, so you can take decisions based on a review, which can help you to increase the sales of products. Returns constitute to a great amount of workload and cost for the staff, like workload for the staff uh, from backlog entries and uh, sending it back to the warehouse in some cases. Automating the entire process with RPA helps retailers concentrate on sales more. While introducing a new product or product line, RPA helps retailers to automate the process, such as customer opinion and surveys, and statistical information for this investigation can be used for adjusting the pricing and inventory and supply of the new products. Automation can help shipment status tracking, inventory monitoring. uh, uh, Robotic process automation can automate the process of communication. It is necessary between workforce and the successful supply chain. Statuses like product is booked, shipped, delayed, or delivered can be made possible through such automation.
And next, we can use RPA with chatbots for customer support. Uh, we can also automate the process to answer queries from customers. RPA bot can automate the process to manage ERP systems, and it can act as a bridge between different systems. So it can reduce the human efforts and delays. RPA can also help in capitalizing from data received from loyalty programs and use it better. Uh, it also helps us in product categorization, demand supply planning, and inventory management. As we have been listening that necessity is the mother of invention, it is not always the case. And many of the times, our brain's understanding capability is restricted by the available resources and technological advancements in the market. So, thanks to these technological advancements today available to support better business practices, we now understand the need of personalized programs to deal with suppliers. Programs with tailored engagements and interactions based on context gained from previous business dealings, demand planning with ML based demand forecasting, and timely communication with the help of prompts, notifications, chatbots regarding purchase orders, disputes, and payments. Incentives for co-innovation and collaboration on mutually beneficial projects, reliability by adherence to SLAs, and commitment to building long-term relationships. These tools help in all.
For instance, let's take a look into supplier management in a more detailed manner. So traditionally, organizations focus less on supplier management process. Uh, there may be multiple reasons, but one apparent cause is that purchasing and contract management offers more tangible benefits than supplier management on the surface. However, the changing business needs demand procurement teams to develop and take supplier relationships to the next level. Although it is not as easy as it sounds, in order to collaborate effectively with the suppliers, organizations need to shift from their traditional supplier management tools to embrace technology. So let's take a look in a bit more detail how automation and technology can help us improve supplier management. These are some prominent areas of supplier management that we have manually, we have manual bottlenecks for. Um with our experience, we can say organizations should and can focus on improvements in these areas. Automations in these key areas can digitally transform the supplier management for any organization. So let's take a look how technology can help in each of these key areas. First, identification and qualification of suppliers. Here you can see some sub processes that can further be digitized. There are common tools used for such digitization, and organizations expect benefits such as rationalized qualification process and reliable supplier selection through such automations. For registration and onboarding, we have sub-processes like these that can be significantly improved by tools like RPA, chatbot, and intelligent document processing. Uh, and we can significantly improve onboarding, reduce the supplier effort, and better supplier engagement through these tools. Looking at the supplier selection, we can improve processes like these with digital levers like RPA, analytics, IDP, and AI that can increase process visibility for stockholders. It can improve communication and make real-time tracking possible. For delivery and payment, we can improve sub-processes by RPA, analytics, mobile solutions, AI, blockchain. Uh, this can enhance service of delivery and supplier loyalty. For areas of co-innovation and collaboration, RPA and analytics can help make the product development faster and help keep the development cost lower. For managing supplier inquiries, RPA, chatbots, IDP, analytics, AI, and mobile solutions can help reduce processing errors and preemption of disputes and make the inquiry resolution faster. And on the front of performance management, these tools can help optimize processes, reduce risks, and give better insights. So these are just a few ideas that which kind of digital tools can help achieve what. Now let's see some of the outcomes of supplier management automation. Automated workflows can help improve productivity of the team and faster the approval process. It can faster the automated quote analysis, three-way matching of invoices with purchase orders and requisitions can be made possible and made effortless with the accurate and they can be made accurate also with RPA based solutions. So we'll take a look at this in a bit more detail, invoice processing part. We can also focus on real-time alerts, and we can have supplier get information about orders, quotes, and invoices, so they can be better satisfied and more engaged. A comprehensive dashboard can provide instant insight into the progress of processes. It can help prevent and identify bottlenecks and errors as well. And we can have real-time budget updates that can help buyers make well-informed decisions and curtail costs even at the purchase requisition stage. Now let's take a look at our use case, that is of intelligent invoice processing. This is typically how an intelligent invoice processing automation is developed. And we have invoices collected either from email and or web portals or physical snail mail or physical papers, and we can get them scanned, and all of these invoices get into a pile of documents digitally with us. We can have a classification and extraction engine that's part of an RPA solutions module that extracts information, identifies information, extracts information from these documents on automatedly without any human intervention, and make different folders for each of the document, each type of the document, so that it can be handled separately by different bots, or maybe some of the documents can be handled by human users if they are not automated yet. So one such group of documents would be invoices in our case, and these invoices are picked up by an RPA and bot that uh, feeds the information taken out from the invoices into the ERP system where they need to record the invoices received, and then those invoices are validated by the RPA bot against maybe purchase orders or goods received notes or any other uh, verification points that you have in your organization. And once they are verified, they are approved within the ERP by the bot. And if they are not verified, they can be sent to some manager for human decision making and investigation. So if they are everything looks good, they are approved, and within the ERP or the systems that you use for payments, a payment can be scheduled right there. So the first challenge with automating invoices and receipts in this case is that these documents often don't come in a consistent standard template. Every invoice could look different. Uh, Critical information such as the dollar amount or invoice number can be in completely different places on different documents. In other words, OCR doesn't know where to look to find the necessary information. Some companies have attempted to address this by creating a large number of static templates meant to address each invoice layout one by one. These layouts help to point the OCR to the correct location on the page so that it can be found and extracted with, and the relevant information can be taken out. While this method works when the number of layouts is small, it can quickly become unmanageable. It's simply not possible to build automation workflows for every possible invoice pattern or receipt template your robot might encounter. So the second challenge, this was the first challenge, and the second challenge with the automating an invoice is um, addressing complexity found in real world, like documents, documents rarely come perfectly printed and cleanly scanned in the highest resolution. So the documents your robot will encounter are often noisy. That means that they have a lot of real world complexity, making them hard to read. An invoice may have been scanned on a low quality office scanner, or it may be skewed because it was scanned at an angle. So sometimes it may have been scanned together with other non-invoice documents as well. So you have to take out the right part of the scanned document. All these factors can confuse the robot and or the OCR engine, so making it difficult to find relevant information needed for processing into backend account payable systems. But all these challenges are not something that should restrict you from automating, because we have solutions for all these. Handling documents more intelligently by the bot resolving these challenges. Uh, we have tools like UiPath and Automation Anywhere's IQ bot uh, that are most commonly used, prominently used in the market. And we have other tools like Abby's Flexi Capture that can also be used to make it more intelligent. So RPA market and market is using both AI and ML based components to handle document classification and extraction processes that pretty much can handle the challenges we talked about. Here's how they typically do it. So there's a taxonomy that we define about a specific set of a specific type of document. Like for invoices, we'll define what kind of information we need to look for, and what sort of variables we'll be setting up with the information that we fetch from the documents. After setting that up, with the tool loads that taxonomy during the bots running, and it also picks up the document we need to process and digitize it using optical character recognition engines to digitize the text and determine its locations. And then it classifies the document into user specified list, that it has a list of documents that it learned through and digitally understood the documents. And now when the document, when a specific document is fed to the engine, it identifies that within the classification which type of document it is, and then it extracts the relevant information defined in the taxonomy. So it choose the most suitable extractors according to your document's type, and then it validates. It can bring in a validation layer if the confidence interval of the information it has extracted is below a certain percentage. So it can bring in a human loop into the practice um, ad- for correcting the data, and then it learns through what the human person provides it as a feedback. And then in the end whether it goes for the validation for human or not, in the end it exports all the information it has exported, it has extracted in the form of a spreadsheet or a CSV file, and that we can use to later we can use it within the bot. We can use it to fill forms into ERPs or other applications that you want to fill. Now let's see how we can achieve this kind of invoice processing automation um, using Automation Anywhere. Similarly, we can do it through UiPath. So um, here, when we log in to the cloud interface of Automation Anywhere, there is this option of Launch IQ Bot. When we click here, it opens up an interface of IQ-Bot, and IQ-Bot is an intelligent document extraction engine that is capable of machine learning. So when we create a model, it's pretty straightforward. We click like this, and then it starts creating an instance for our machine learning model. All right, and then it gets to this screen where I can give a name for the model that I want to create, the instance that I want to create. Let's suppose I give it invoice processing, and we can specify the type of document that it will recognize and process. So you can see some pre-built formats here that are kind of pre-trained to some extent, and we can create a custom model defining other, uh, like specifying other as type here. So currently we'll go with invoices, and you can see that it knows what type of fields an invoice has. We can add more to it, or we can just keep a standard field format for that. So for the training purpose, we'll have to specify some documents that it can read and train on. So we have a few invoices saved with us. We'll load them into the system from our storage. And now you can see that it is analyzing those 10 documents that we uploaded. It's applying classifier, performing semantic analysis, learning from the aliases. So it has natural language processing capabilities also. So it is trying to understand different fields, what can be the different ways of writing a specific field. Uh, so you can see that the first thing it does is it shows us all the groups of formats it has picked from the input documents. So this is one of the group that looks like this, and it is showing that what it has identified. We can correct it here if there is any mistake in its identification. So invoice date looks correct, invoice number looks correct, total invoice total looks correct, and so on, all the other things as identified. So these are the columns that would have multiple values into it, depending upon the number of items in this invoice. So it looks fine. And save and go to next group. next format. So the invoices that I uploaded here only are in two different formats, two different groups it has created for them. There can be many, and it can learn from them in your actual scenario. So in the same manner, it is showing that what field it has picked, where it is supposed to get the information from, and if everything looks correct, as in this case, we can save and close this. Now we can see that there are these two groups here, that it identified how many files in it and all. There's some details. Since it has not started processing any documents that will come from the task bot that will feed documents. The documents that we have fed now are only the training documents. So it is showing all the figures as 0. So after this, we are ready, because it is in staging, we are ready to take it to production. So we'll click here, send it to production. Now the instance, the learning instance we just created, invoice process, is ready to be consumed by a task bot. And to do so, we'll go to bots, my bots, and create a new bot. Let's name it invoice processing. Okay, so I'll need to fill some details for email fetching that I do not want to fill here right now because it will have my password. I gave the path where I want to save my attachments. Then I'll bring a loop to go through each attachment file. For each file and folder that has the attachments. So I'm creating a variable that will keep the file names of the fetched files. And then we'll bring IQBot. So this is how now we'll upload documents and specify the learning instance and the file path that it needs to feed. These files that are picked here will be used here, and then now we can delete the file that we have. Same file will delete it so that it is never picked up again by the bot. And then we will have to, if everything goes well here, it will process the file and create CSV file against the data extracted from the invoice. So then we will do is, in the end, after looping through all the files, we'll have to download these CSV files against the same learning instance, and then have another loop go through each row of the CSV to pick the information that is fetched from the document processed through the learning instance. So I'm not going into further details into it. Let me just show you what we achieved using UiPath that has also OCR and intelligent document processing capabilities. And let me show you that. So let's see this bot running. Opens up SAP, logs into it using a credential manager with encrypted passwords. After reading the documents and classifying and extracting everything from it, so now it is supposed to get to the screen where it will enter the invoice. So bot is opening that screen. I'm running it in a slower mode. In actual, it will be done much faster. So here, after entering the invoice into the ERP, we can have the bot checked vendor for validation. If the vendor is in good standing, everything looks correct for the payment. And if the invoice is correct with the type of amounts and rates and quantities, everything as per the issued purchase orders from the same ERP or different system, or we can have multiple points of checks like verify goods received note. So if the everything looks good, the bot can go ahead and enter a payment detail for the check to be issued to this vendor, or maybe it can schedule a payment if you have a check scheduling system. So now let's have a brief look at how Royal Cyber's Jumpstart package for automation program is. So this is how it is. It is to let our customers start small and see the power and ROI of RPA based automations in just a few weeks. This kind of jumpstart often helps convincing higher management to go for a full blown automation program, or you can capitalize from this to enable your own team to continue with your own program. So what we do is we pick a single process for automation with the help of our customers inputs that they give about the importance and the details of the process, and develop that through RPA and related technologies. These are three phases of such a jumpstart package that we offer. So this can show the potential of RPA and Royal Cyber, as well as help customers see internally what they may need to have an organizational center of excellence to drive an RPA program within their organization. So the use case that we presented is also developed for one of our customers during such a jumpstart package. So today, for the participants of this webinar, we are offering a 30% discount in the form of 2 weeks of complimentary services out of 6 weeks of Jumpstart package. You can contact marketing um, here in like on the email address that's here on your screen, And you can also ask in the chat section for further details about this Jumpstart package. So now this is the time for question and answer session, and you can type your questions and queries or any further details if you like to have in the chat section of this GoToWebinar tool, and we'll try to answer your queries. So the first question I have is RPA tool logs into different systems. How does it keep credentials? It's a very good question and a concern that we have received from many of our users. Uh, but most RPA tools handle this pretty well. I mean, they have a credential vault that is managed through the control room or the orchestrator, and it's kind of a it kind of has a cloud interface where you can give access to your actual business users to keep and maintain their credentials, or an admin can centrally keep them. So it can follow your company's your organization's policy, security policy. So, and it keeps those credentials in a vault that is encrypted. All right. Okay, another question is one quick question. Which tool should be used when, especially between UiPath and Automation Anywhere? There is no clear answer to this question. Um, both are top of the line tools. Both have almost similar functionality. I personally feel UiPath is developing uh, at a bit more faster pace, and the interface that it presents, I mean, looks more appealing to me, but many of the time I find Automation Anywhere more useful as a technical user. So there's no clear-cut answer for this, that which tool you should prefer, but that totally depends on what sort of budgets you have, what sort of development team or internally you have, if you want to maintain it internally. So both are almost equally powerful. The only advantage I see in UiPath that is very clear uh, is that it offers a fully functional community edition. So for smaller players, that's a big uh, attraction. All right, I have another question that how does RPA tool involve intelligent decision making within it? So as I like probably touched it briefly, that internally within RPA tools, generally that kind of decision making is, it's, you can say, structured decision making. You have to have a if then kind of a structure to decide things. But if you want to have more complex decision making, you can either bring an ODM kind of software in between for decision making, and yeah, or you can have it done by machine learning. So we can use tools like Data Robot um, to have those decisions made there, and then RPA can utilize those decisions to do certain actions. Another question I have is, can we have, like, we saw UI interaction from RPA tools, but can we have API calls? Yes. API calls is something that almost every modern tool has. So that's not the challenging thing. The challenging thing for interacting with software is interacting the way a human does. So UI interface for interaction is the um, actual power of RPA tools, but yes, we can also call APIs uh, to interact with other applications. All right, the interface for the questions that I see is just a bit difficult for me to understand. I am just trying to, it's very small on my screen. So I see another question. All right, let me see. What is the recurring cost of this solution? All right. The recurring cost that is, I mean, that can depend on the kind of licenses you want to acquire, or what kind of scale you have. But um, it's always for any enterprise RPA solution. It's always a recurring annual cost, and uh, UiPath and Automation Anywhere both have it around 10,000 USD per annum for 2 to 3 robots that can work 24/7 for you for entire year, with couple of development studio licenses. There's this difference in between what sort of solution you can get, but I'm roughly telling you what kind of pricing you can anticipate. So that's only for the tool license, and if you go for any development assistance from any of the partners like us, so that would be additional, but that can be, of course, that can depend on what kind of engagement you want, what sort of development services, or how many robots, how complex are the bots. So you can consider it something that is generally the practice, like hourly rate or whatever the hourly rate of a uh, development resources. But again, for smaller organizations, UiPath offers fully functional community edition, so that can be something you can use to start with to see the power of the tool. All right, with this, I have covered, I think, all the questions I got, and thank you very much for attending this session with me today. So you can contact us for any further details, any further questions about this or any of the other services we deliver. Uh, we would be happy to hear from you. You can stay in touch with us through our website for a program, for any upcoming webinar. We have a section where you can see upcoming webinars. You are interested in this series about RPA and automations or any other tool, um, be in touch. Thank you very much for your time today. You'll get a brief survey questionnaire after this webinar, and a gift voucher on responding to it you can receive. Thank you very much again.